Okay, just want to show you how I do scratch-built railings. Actually, scratch-built railings are actually quite easy to do once you get rolling. So in this case, I eyeball them upright. And these are 25 thou. And this is the three sizes that I like to use right here. 218, 20 thou, 219, 25 thou, and 210, 30 thou. So 25 thou for the upright stanchions, 30 thou for the handrail, and then 20 thou for the subsequent handrails that go from the top down. So this is 25 thou, and what I do is I cut them extra long. I'll show you the spacer I use in a second here. But I cut them extra long, probably about 25% longer than they should be. And you can see where I mark where there's a hole, and I start it with a number 11 blade, right? Remember how I showed that? Let me just point it out again. So I make a pencil mark, I take a brand new number 11 blade, and I basically just turn it, and you'll get a little bit of a pilot hole started. And then I start the hole first a bit, and then I turn the drill bit as I'm turning it to get it like this. You don't need that much because you're going to melt the rod right in to the sill on the staircase, okay? So now what I do is I take the 25 thou piece like this, take some nice fresh cement or hot cement. I like to use Plastruck, like I mentioned before, mainly for all the work I do when it comes to melting plastic, but once in a while I'll use the green cap bottled Tamiya, which is really stinky, but it's super hot, and it's great for stuff like this, but the Plastruck works fine. So what I do is I just get a little bit goopy there, and you can feel it grab, and sometimes I'll just poke it in, and then I'll just give it one more just to create a little extra level of melt factor, and you can see how it holds right away. And then I just eyeball it upright and in line with the others, and I don't worry too much about them being perfectly upright. And you want to know why? Because when they're dry, you can still bend them. You can tweak them a bit. That's the beauty of evergreen plastic, is it's flexible and bendable. It's not brittle plastic, it's actually soft styrene. I've heard people say in the past, oh, I use this certain kind of styrene, like other commercial grade. Well, it's not the same. This is made for modelers. The Plastruct is very similar, but I find the evergreen to be, well, it's just more suitable for the style that I like to build. It just seems to be more friendly to the modeler. It has a softness to it, hard to explain. Anyway, so you can see that, and then what I do is I take a spacer. This is, so this is 3.5 feet. So this is about 40 inches. 40 inches in HO scale. And then once they're done, I just drop this over top like this, okay? And then I grab my nippers, and I do that with all of them, and they're exactly the height that I want. Now, the next, like the handrail, is not really hard either. The challenge is to just get it started. Sometimes you can pre-bend ahead of time, like if you want to run this piece that goes into the structure, you can put a bend in and leave a little bit of overrun, and just get the first part melted on, pinch it on. You can use, I like to take tweezers, and then when I get a bit of cement, just pinch it on like that, and it melts it on nice. And then once you get the first one started, it's just a matter of lining it up and putting a wick. And once again, I'll just show you that, excuse me for a second, I'll show you that Tamiya cement that's killer. So it's this stuff here, extra thin cement, right? This stuff is lethal and powerful, boy, but it smells, it really stinks. So you want to keep the lid on this one, but this is really hot and it works awesome, right? Once again, Tamiya hashtag no sponsor. They're just great. They really know they really know their stuff when it comes to miniatures and scale modeling. So that's what I do. And then once this is done, you can see that this staircase is kept as a separate model because I want to build these railings, and maybe, well, I probably will paint it separately, and then I'll use probably matte medium to secure it. or scrape away some of the paint on the inside of this girder plate here, or the fairing plate, and it'll go in like that, you see. Now the real challenge, just in closing here, is the other side of the railings, which I haven't mentioned. They're only down the second flight. This, oh here, I'll just put this staircase back in place so you can understand it better. So the actual railings on, they're actually on this fairing. So they're part of this fairing. There's like 1, 2, 3 stanchions. So I'll drill this stanchion and build this railing last. Once again, this railing and the bridge railings, which I've yet to do, will be last because they'll be the ones that are subject to bumps and abuse in my big fat elbows. And then there's just a railing set on the inside here like that. And so that'll be done for that. And it should look pretty good too, okay? Do you ever remember your first model that you built? Like a kid, I mean. I can remember the first kit I built. I think it was about 9 years old. It was a Harvard. Actually, it was a 86 Texan, but it was the Canadian version built by de Havilland, or under de Havilland license. But I always remember building that model and how proud I was. And I remember running out to the kitchen to show my dad, you know, what I had built, and I just painted it yellow. It was probably by Airfix or something, and I was so proud of that model. And I remember my dad looking at it and he's saying, "Did you use all the paint and the glue on the one model, son?" There was no need to, fill any seams because I put so much paint on it. You know, the tester's paint. You know, the bottled tester's paint. With those cheesy little paint brushes, you know, they look like these glue brushes, right? And I always remember that. But that's when it all began, eh? I guess that's when the bug bit me, and I never let it go, you know. I just have loved it ever since. But one of the most profound things I ever did, journeys or adventures, was to learn to scratch build. Actually, scratch building is a little bit overrated. It's really just having the courage to, you know, build that first trackside shanty and make it your own. Yeah, that's right. Like even an outhouse. I'm going to talk about these railings for a second because they're actually not that difficult to build. I like to build them out of brass and plastic. But you know, if I was to step on this, it would crush this model, but it probably wouldn't break the joints. Like once you weld these plastic, like see these tweezers here? Like see how they're sprung? Well, they're excellent clamps. Like when you have wet cement and you line it up and you just let it go like that, and it squeezes it, and it's like it's not coming off. Like it's not. Like these railings are incredibly strong, and they're not that hard to make. Like usually I'll just start like in the middle here. I'll make the 2 bends there, and I just glue one stanchion, and then I just chase them all the way down. Okay, I'm going to go up onto the deck of the ship and show you where this is going to go in a second. But anyway, learning to scratch build is really just a journey. It's just being like a bit of a bull. You know, I can remember my dad telling me when I was younger, you know, you're like a bull, son. You just charge into things with no regard. You know, that's really what I do with models. Like when I scratch build, I just charge in with no regard. I don't care if I'm going to make mistakes. Like you're going to learn stuff anyway, so it doesn't matter if you make mistakes. You're always going to make mistakes, even when you're a mature modeler or, you know, long in the tooth, so to speak. But that's just part of it, right? And the beauty of learning to scratch build is you don't have to shop through the Walthers catalog or model catalogs. You can just shop through Google Images or the real world and say, you know what, I'm going to build a model of that, and I'm going to figure out how to do it. And, you know, if you get close, great. If you don't, you learn something, right? So let's just go up top there, and I'll show you basically where this staircase is going to go on the Carrier Princess, okay? that nice? So these railings here, like what happens here? Like why do they end? Like why are they funny? They're just sort of, well, because the boat's funny that way. Like they do end like that. And then part of the other railings is built onto here, this fairing. It's sort of just the way they did it. And it just starts again in behind where all these bulwarks are on the fairing there. So pretty happy about that. And then just in closing, these are these little lifesavers I made from just cutting off, like using tape I mentioned before to cut the rings really thin. And then I just used dowel or half round on the outside. I know it's fiddly, but I got into it and I made 9 of them one evening. I just got lost in it and they were done. And the next day sanded them with 600, and then I just dipped them right into cement. Like just dip them right in to some cement or coat them heavy, and they gloss up and they sort of melts the surface and then you know, dries really smooth, you know. So anyway, so there's going to be a few of those, like one will be right here and then on the other side. Okay, so don't be afraid to scratch build, you know, like just try simple stuff, and it's just a learning process, and you'll find out that no matter what it is, it will be unique because nobody else has one, and you'll grow and challenge yourself after each subsequent model. You just grow and grow, and before you know it, you'll be building whatever subject you want to build, okay?